If you are 70 to 80 years old, don't tell your children these 7 secrets, especially number 7. Have you ever wondered about the things that old age teaches us but are never spoken out loud? There are secrets that elderly people like us often keep, not because we don't want to share, but sometimes keeping them to ourselves is the best way to protect our own happiness. Welcome to our channel. Today, we will uncover the truths that many elderly people around the world keep hidden, not just from their children, but sometimes even from their friends and loved ones. And I guarantee that when you hear secret number 5, you will start rethinking the way you live your life. Leave a comment below to let us know if you agree with these insights, or if you have different thoughts. Feel free to share them so we can all discuss together. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video to help more people gain a new perspective on life in old age. Are you ready? Let's dive into these special secrets right now. Secret number 1. The freedom we don't want to lose. As we grow older, there is one wonderful thing that we can finally enjoy to the fullest. Freedom. No more work pressure, no more heavy responsibilities. We are free to live life on our own terms. But have you ever felt that your children or loved ones don't fully understand this? Many elderly people have spent their entire lives working, worrying about their families, and carrying responsibilities they could never escape. And when they finally have the chance to rest and enjoy life, sometimes it is their own children who unintentionally create pressure, expecting their parents to continue living within certain boundaries, whether financially, socially, or even in daily routines. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to travel alone, try something new, or simply live the way you wanted, only to have your children worry, object, or even interfere with your decisions? If so, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So why do many elderly people choose to keep their freedom to themselves? The answer is simple. Because they don't want to be controlled. They don't want their children to worry excessively, or worse, start treating them as if they are incapable of making their own decisions. Most importantly, they don't want to be put in a position where every small decision is scrutinized or judged. Think about it. Do you really need to explain to anyone why you want to spend the money you worked hard for your whole life? Or why you prefer to live simply, free from unnecessary obligations? Sometimes, holding on to our own freedom is the best way to live a fulfilling life, without being weighed down by external pressures. Secret number 2. Worries about health. All of us sooner or later have to face the changes that come with aging, unexpected aches, a memory that isn't as sharp as before, or even signs of illness. Yet, this is something many elderly people choose to keep to themselves, not because they don't trust their children, but because they don't want to become a burden. Think about it. Have you ever hidden a mild pain, a moment of dizziness, or a health concern simply because you didn't want your children to worry too much? You fear that as soon as you mention it, they will immediately impose decisions you don't want, forcing you to see a doctor right away, changing your diet, or even controlling your daily routine. It's understandable that children worry, but sometimes their overreactions make us feel like we are losing control over our own bodies and lives. No one wants to be treated as if they are incapable of making their own decisions, right? However, there is a fine line between keeping things private and neglecting our health. Not talking about everything doesn't mean ignoring serious warning signs. The key is knowing what to share. Major concerns should still be communicated, but minor changes that don't affect our quality of life might not need too much attention. What about you? Do you usually share your health status with your children? Or do you also keep small things to yourself to avoid worrying them? Let me know in the comments below. Secret number 3. The quiet joy. Have you ever felt truly happy just by being alone? Not because you're lonely, not because you're sad, but simply because you genuinely enjoy the peace within your soul. Many people assume that as we age, we must spend more time with our children and grandchildren, meet friends often, and stay socially active to avoid loneliness. But the truth is, many elderly people prefer quiet moments over loud conversations or crowded gatherings. Have you ever experienced the simple joy of sitting alone, sipping a cup of tea, reading a favorite book, or just quietly watching the world around you, feeling that this is one of the most beautiful moments in life? If so, you are not alone. Interestingly, many elderly people keep this joy to themselves because they worry that their children might misunderstand, thinking their parents are bored or lonely. In response, children may try to fill that time with activities we don't actually want, inviting us to go places, arranging social gatherings, or even suggesting new hobbies just to keep us from feeling empty. But in reality, silence is sometimes exactly what we need. It's a time to reflect on life, to appreciate the simple things that we were too busy to fully embrace when we were younger. Secret number 4, personal decisions. Have you ever made an important life decision but hesitated to share it with your children, fearing disapproval or judgment? As we age, many of us start making choices to simplify life, such as selling a large house to move into a smaller, more manageable home, leaving the bustling city to enjoy a peaceful life in the countryside or by the sea, joining a senior community where we can connect with others of the same age and share experiences. But what usually happens when we share these decisions? Our children might worry, object, or even try to convince us to change our minds. They may assume we are making these choices because of financial struggles, health issues, or other concerns, when in reality, it is simply about living the way we truly want. Many elderly people choose to keep their personal decisions to themselves, not because they don't trust their children, but because they want to protect their freedom and avoid unnecessary debates. After a lifetime of taking care of others, don't we deserve the right to make decisions for ourselves without having to justify them? Have you ever wanted to make a big change in your life but hesitated to share it with your children out of fear of their reaction? Let's discuss in the comments below. Secret number 5, regrets of the past. Have you ever sat alone reminiscing about the past and thought, if only I had done things differently? We all have regrets in life. A wrong decision, a missed opportunity, or a relationship that couldn't be saved. But one thing many elderly people understand very well is this: not all regrets should be spoken out loud. Why? Because sharing our regrets with our children often does more harm than good. If we talk about past mistakes, our children might feel sad, helpless, or even blame themselves for not being able to help us earlier. What's done is done. Nothing can change the past, so why bring up painful memories that may only create unnecessary guilt or sorrow? Many elderly people choose to keep their regrets to themselves, not because they are in denial, but because they understand this truth. Regret does not change the present. It only robs us of today's happiness. Learning to accept, forgive ourselves, and focus on enjoying the moments we have left is what truly matters. Secret number 6, personal habits. Have you ever noticed that as we grow older, the smallest habits become incredibly important? It could be a cup of tea at exactly 6 a.m., a book we read over and over again, or even a favorite chair that we always want to sit in. These seemingly simple routines bring us a sense of peace and stability in life. Yet sometimes those around us don't fully understand. They may say, "Why don't you try something new?" Or, "Why are you so particular about this?" They don't realize that these habits aren't just routines, they are a source of comfort and security. For many elderly people, familiar things are a connection to the past, a way to feel that everything is still okay, no matter how much the outside world changes. That's why many choose not to explain their small habits, not because they're hiding anything, but simply because there's no need for others to understand. Not everything in life needs to be rational or have a reason. Sometimes, if something makes us happy and brings us peace, that's all that matters. Do you have a special habit that only you truly understand? Share your story in the comments below. Secret number 7, the greatest fear, not wanting to be a burden. There is one thought that almost every elderly person has but rarely speaks about. We are afraid of becoming a burden to our children. Aging brings inevitable changes. Our bodies are not as strong as before, and sometimes we need help. from small tasks like grocery shopping and cooking to bigger things like medical care. But this very need for assistance often makes many elderly people feel worried or even a little guilty. We have spent our whole lives taking care of our children, building a strong and loving home for them. And as time passes, when we find ourselves needing care in return, fear begins to creep in. Will my children see me as a burden? Am I disrupting their lives? Am I becoming an unwanted responsibility? Because of this, many elderly people choose to hide their fears, pretending that everything is fine, even when their health is declining. We don't want our children to worry. We don't want to see the guilt in their eyes when they can't spend enough time with us. And most of all, we don't want to pressure anyone. But here's the truth we need to accept. Love is not a burden. Our children care for us because they love us, not because we are an inconvenience. Instead of keeping this fear inside, perhaps we should try to open up more, share our concerns gently, and communicate better. Because sometimes what we worry about is completely different from what our children actually feel. So, we've just explored 7 things that many elderly people keep to themselves, not because they want to hide them, but because sometimes silence is the best way to protect their own peace. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to spread this message to more people. Old age is not the end. It's a new chapter in life where you are free to live the way you truly want. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for more videos to come.